Greetings and thank you for joining us for the 22nd episode of the Young Justice Review on DC Animation with Spencer and Friends. This is an LMG Podcast Production. Today, I'm joined by a dear friend.
Hello, everyone. It's Cassidy back yet again.
Yes, Cassidy is joining us today. Cassidy, I'm glad you're here.
So happy to be here.
Yes, yes. And I appreciate you for joining us on this journey through DC Animation.
Of course.
Today, we will be reviewing Season 2, Episodes 17 and 18. So, Episode 17, The Hunt. For those of you who are here for the first time, why would you do that? But I'm going to read a synopsis in my own words, and then we're just going to talk about it. So, we open on War World, where Black Beetle is pissed about Mongol's arrival fucking up their plans. The Reach scientist tells him that things aren't as bad as they could be, but there is one loose end that needs cutting. Arsenal is running for his life, and the Reach ambassador is on the PR tour with Blue Beetle. The teens are engaging in property damage against the Reach, and Lex says that he can show them how to really hurt the Reach. Lex gives them a father box, which takes them to Warworld so they can save the squad. They boom tube to Warworld, and they get through the hench people, or the hench Reach, whatever the hench aliens.
And
Uh,
Shane's.
so yeah, and they make their way to the squad. Arsenal follows, and Miss Martian and Nightwing both blame themselves for the current situation. Sphere shows up, and they make their way to the squad as well. G. Gordon has the Reach Ambassador on his show, and when he gets there, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to come after you a little bit because you lied about having ships with weapons." Black Beetle shows up on Warworld and handles the teens, and Arsenal is able to free Mongol as a distraction. Slade sneaks in to steal the crystal key, and Nightwing, Miss Martian, and Sphere show up to take everybody home after they are freed. Nightwing offers the teens a spot on the squad, but kicks Arsenal off for his recklessness. Arsenal and the teens decide they'll make their own way. After they get home, Arsenal tells them about Lex, and they really decide to make their own way. And that's the episode.
There it is.
So, we open on Warworld because in the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, a lot of stuff happened with Warworld.
Yes.
And Black Beetle is just mad,
Just angry.
which understandable,
Yeah,
but yeah,
but
like
also
he's
chill.
yeah, he's mad for a couple reasons. He's mad because Mongol showed up at all, and he's mad because the Justice League is there and the ambassador won't let him fight them, and he's just mad. And the Reach scientist is like, just so you know, like there was a lot of victory for us in
We,
this whole thing.
yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but the meat knows about our
Immediately.
attack fleet.
The meat.
Yes. And the scientist was like, it's fine. I'm not super worried about it.
Mhm.
But there is one thing that needs handling because we did see that the one person who escaped was Arsenal. And he is running for his life. And it's a rough time for him. But
He's zooming though.
yeah, he's getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, I will not be locked up again.
Won't he said something like
Never
you won't
again.
podify me or something like you won't pod me again or something like that. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Never. Yeah. He gets aggressive about it, which is understandable because that's a trauma right there.
That truly is one, yes.
Yeah. And then we go back to Earth, where the Reach Ambassador is, just on the mic telling everybody about how wonderful and great Blue Beetle is.
So good.
Yeah, and it's tough to watch, but
Yeah.
we know what's going on. And then we see the teenagers that were captured, the four of them, and they're just, engaging in some light vandalism,
As teens do.
as teens do, like, pretty normal teenage behavior.
I'd say so.
And Lex calls him. He's like, "Hey, I appreciate what y'all are doing here, but perhaps there's a way that you could really hurt the Reach."
Hmm.
So, I want to know. what's going on in your head with the reach and the light?
I'm getting confused if I am being honest because I don't know who knows what anymore and what we're wanting them to do. And my man Lex didn't help me here today because he's got his thing with the reach. But then obviously we don't want the reach somehow or some way. But something else is happening too, clearly, because the wool is over my eyes. I admit it fully.
Okay. And I asked that question because you have been told that the reach and the light are working together,
Yeah.
but you have also watched the light actively disrupt what the reach
Yes,
is
what
doing.
the Reach has got going on. Yes.
So like you watched the reach and Lex get together to say, here's a beverage.
Yes.
And then you watched Lex say, hey teens, I know you hate the reach. Let me help you hurt them.
Right.
So I'm sure you're like, what even? Where?
The only
What is Lex's allegiance? Like
what is
where?
Lex, it's to Lex. Because like the only thing I could think of is like, okay, maybe he wants to at least save is not the word I want to use here, but save Connor at some capacity because that's his little experiment. Um,
So
but
you
he
don't.
wouldn't
He's
care
not saving
about
Connor out of the goodness of his heart.
why would Lex do that?
That's not a very Lex thing to
It's
do.
not very Lex at all. Like, sure, that's his DNA, but like also like it's a science project for Lex.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, is Lex trying to save his son, or is Lex trying to save his property?
Correct. And but on that note though too, I don't think he would put in the effort of like, hey, save all of them.
And is that like, is it because he wanted to save Superboy, or is it because he knew that freeing the squad would disrupt the Reach's operation? What even does Lex want? What is he trying to what's going on here?
Lex is really Lexing right now. And I
But yeah,
don't
I wondered what you thought, like what was happening in your head as far as the evil groups, because there are multiple. And
I
like
I'm
where are the lines? Who's friendly, who's not? Like what's even going on here?
what's even going on is a great question. Again, it would be maybe an easier thing for me to even decide on because Lex, I always, well, all bad guys are working for themselves in a way, but like Lex is for Lex the mostest of them all. Like, so I'm just like, I don't know. And Lex is there. Lex is just gonna do what works best for Lex. So I don't think it even matters with him specifically if it's light or reach. He's just gonna Lex. But if there were some more less intelligent members of either party that I could have analyzed that might help me somewhere, but I don't know with Lex being the
You
one
never know
I'm
with
trying to
Lex.
figure out.
Yep. And and that's the thing, it's based on the stuff that happened. Like it feels to me like the light is not in like the light doesn't want the reach. And I
Yeah.
my what I thought was whenever because it seemed like the light and the reach were one
Yes.
until Mongol basically said, "Oh, if the reach has Earth, then we're done here."
And that makes you me think too of just the propaganda situation of the Reach, and they've probably done that to the light as well. And I wonder if the light thought they had more control over something that they didn't actually have any control over.
Because that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering because it sounded like Vandal Savage didn't know this was
Hmm.
going on. That's what it looked like.
Right.
And so when Vandal Savage found out, and he and Mongol were, talking, it sounded like Vandal Savage was like, "Oh, if the Reach is there, we know. We need to get them. We need to get them on up out of here."
On your teeth.
And the fact that the Guardians knew what the situation was with the Reach and all that. So I'm wondering if, yeah, the Light was successfully tricked by the Reach.
Yeah.
And then once the Reach found out, I'm sorry, once the Light found out,
They're like, oh
they
no.
were like, "Oh yeah, no."
Yeah.
So, but also, who knows? That's just what
Not me.
we don't know what
I've
could
not
be
watched
happening.
whatever happens yet.
So, but yeah, just looking at the so far,
Mm.
it looks to me like Vandal Savage found out and was like, "Oh, that's not gonna work,"
Mm.
and alerted the light, and now the light is working behind the scenes to disrupt the Reach's reach
Yes.
because the Reach has demonstrated that they are very capable
Yes.
and that they could
Very
actually,
skilled politicians, the Reach.
yeah, very skilled. And so, yeah. But yeah, and the thing that really let me know that the light is kind of third party in it.
Mm.
Like I don't know who would you say that the light of the Reach is the main villain of this season?
Oh, it's the Reach easily for me. And I
Okay.
that could just be for the what is put in front of my face the most, but
Mhm.
it's the Reach.
No, and good because you'll notice that this show right now is called Young Justice Invasion,
Infusion. Yes.
and the Reach is the invasion. Like
Yes.
originally it was Krolataeans, and then they were, put on they were sidebarred quickly
Easily.
because they were like, oh no, the Reach is a problem.
Hmm.
And so the fact everybody is like the Reach is a problem. The fact that the Guardians of the Universe made like a treaty with them to say the only way, like vampire rules. The fact that they instituted vampire rules for the Reach is telling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to know where your mind was and what was going on. So really, the light is kind of like a third party.
They're just
They're
the
like they're like a
they're there
constant. Yeah,
every so often.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh yeah.
yeah. Don't forget. Because we've been seeing a lot of the light because, my nigga Black Manta
Hmm.
has been, and whatnot. So, yeah, there's been a lot happening.
Yes.
It's a great show. And so, yeah, Lex is like, I have a way that you can really hurt the Reach. This right here is a father box. What this can do, you can ask it politely, and it will teleport you to where you need to be. Now, I happen to have it locked into Kryptonian DNA. And they were like, oh, gasp, Superman? And they were like, not quite. The Superboy. That's who I have access to.
Hmm.
And I have everything from him that I will ever need. So I already have it programmed for you to get within a few miles of him. And she was like, Warworld,
Cool.
please.
Yep.
Which her understanding of English is getting a lot better.
It's improved tremendously in
Yeah.
just a few moments.
Her use of English, yeah, like she knows words. And so
I
yeah,
just want to
she's
believe she's been playing people.
okay. So
Just,
she knew English this whole
just,
time.
I want to pretend.
That's fine. I support it.
I would.
So Father Box takes them to the war world. They're surrounded by hench aliens. And they're like, oh my god, no, please. No, we give up. We just want to go home. And then, it was a ruse.
Gasp.
And then, yeah, uh Long Shadow gets big and oh no. So they get dealt with pretty easily.
No,
And he was like, oh, you're laser proof. No, that
not
stings.
that didn't feel good.
Yeah, it hurt a little bit. I
Because
felt
I
it.
also was like, wow. Oh, oh.
I'm kind of, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, oh, okay. It was like, oh, wait, okay.
Never mind, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, little bro.
And Arsenal is kind of just lurking,
Yeah, just remember.
watching, trying to, make his own moves. And so then we go over to Miss Martian and Nightwing on Bioship, and she's scanning for the mental activity of the squad, and she's not finding anything. And then they both just go into if it
Guilt
weren't for
talk.
me, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Well, if they just start, blaming themselves.
the battle of the guilts.
So, what were your thoughts on the Battle of the Guilts?
I think Nightwing has done everything he's needed to do. I understand why people are upset with him, but I don't disagree with anything that he has done.
I
Meg? was gonna do what she was gonna do
She was doing whatever.
because she was doing that regardless of like granted, not incorrect of okay, it wasn't gonna she wouldn't have done it to Aqualad. She was gonna do it to somebody.
Yeah, like it was going to continue.
It was gonna get worse and it was gonna still end up happening to somebody
Yeah.
that they didn't want it to happen to.
Yes. Like this
So,
this was inevitable. It was just a
mhm.
matter of who and when and all that.
Yeah.
Because, it could have been a situation where she did it to Black Manta.
Yeah.
And now Calder has to have feelings about that.
Yeah.
Or any this was
Gonna happen in the
inevitable.
spot. Yeah. And so I not to be like I appreciate her accountability. This is a little less like this was better than just the absolute shutdown that she did. I'm like, yeah, take accountability. Still do your job. Take accountability. But I didn't think Nightwing needed to cover for her necessarily and be like, oh, it was on me. And I'm like, yeah, I see that as the leader that you feel like that. However, she
Well, and I I do give Nightwing a little bit of blame just because he definitely should have told them. I think he should have told the OGs. I think that with
yeah.
Calder, Wally, Artemis, and Nightwing in the room, Superboy and McGann should have also been in the room. I think.
I know, and I know this is something that I think for a couple episodes that I wouldn't say we disagree on, but I don't know that I'm fully convinced that everyone needed to know in that regard. Every one of them.
Yeah. And I'm not mad at that. Like, because the more people know, the more likely it is to go badly. But
Yes.
what we have seen is that McGann can get into character and
Yes.
play the like so I wouldn't be worried about her. And we've seen that Connor can do the same thing and he was able to do that early.
Early, I still have more worry of Connor messing something like that up than McGann. Like she can,
Yes.
Meg's fine.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Um, and no one is 100% blameless. I just didn't care for him saying it was on because again, I think it was gonna happen at some point anyway.
No, you're
It
right.
just looks like he just feels this way because it happened to Aqualad specifically in a particular situation.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a good thing that this happened because Sportsmaster and Cheshire now know the truth.
Yeah.
Really Cheshire. But, you know,
Yeah.
Sportsmaster and Cheshire know the truth, which is a good thing. So, one thing that I forgot to bring up
Mm.
because we need to talk about it.
Yes.
During the PR tour,
Yes.
there was a little girl,
Oh.
and that little
Mm.
girl said, I thought that the Justice League were the saviors. Because
Crap.
on the PR tour, he's saying, this is Blue Beetle, he saved us from Warworld.
Yes. Yeah.
And in the PR tour, the ambassador was like, I thought the same thing, but it's a good thing the Reach was here, and she had a Wonder Woman plushie.
Yes.
And when Blue Beetle picks her up, she drops said Wonder Woman
Hmm.
plushie, and the ambassador stepped on it. Now, I just want to say there are a lot of matter of fact, I think it could have been any other leader.
Literally any other one of them.
Like, I'm a Batman guy. If it had been Batman, I would have been like, dang, they didn't have to do him like that. Superman, it could have
I
been.
yeah, if they did that to Superman, I probably wouldn't have blinked twice. I'm like, all right, yeah, just of course they did that to Superman, whatever. But
But
Diana,
the disrespect
Diana,
to Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, how fucking dare you?
I was, I did a,
Yeah, I was like,
you
yeah, I said, excuse me? The disrespect was egregious.
which also shows how much I respect Diana because I was like, again, agreed. I think anybody else, I would have just been like, well, that was rude, but
Yeah,
okay. But I was
rude.
like, immediately like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe
Yeah,
you had the nerve.
I
Diana
think
of all of them.
I was the same way. I think anybody else would have been like, oh, dang, oh, that was unnecessary. But Princess Diana of Themyscira,
Jail.
And that's the thing, like you've you got what's coming to you, bud.
Truly.
And I hope it hurts.
So bad.
I hope it's Diana who I want her. I want
Oh,
it to be her.
ooh.
I want her to come and take you to Suplex City. That's what I want. But what I just needed I a sidebar and a tangent. We love him here, but like I needed to get that one off because
Nope, that's
that
fair.
one crossed my mind and I didn't like it. Again, it could have been anybody else.
Literally, I would have been fine with anyone else. Fine, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yes.
I've
Uh,
been like, all right, whatever.
again, there's a difference between it being rude and it being disrespectful.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, the fact that it was Diana, I had a problem with it.
our queen of everything. I can't have her. No. Mm-mm.
And that's why I was really glad when I saw G. Gordon this time
Yep.
because G. Gordon had the Reach Ambassador on his show. And we
Mhm.
know that they're friends. We've seen them,
Buddies.
being friendly all over the place. G. Gordon has been a part of the Reach's
Outreach.
uh, campaign.
Yep.
Because, yeah, like G. Gordon will be like, yes, these aliens have done it correct. These aliens are doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And what about the League? Like, G. Gordon is really on their side. And then we see him on the show,
Yeah.
and he's like, can you explain the lies
Lies.
that you told? And then the ambassador's like, well, we saved you, didn't we? And then he plays the tape.
Roll it back.
Yeah, just hits the button and plays the tape, yeah, big and loud, where the ambassador said, this is the only ship we have, and it has no weapons, as it is a peaceful ship.
So
It's like,
peaceful.
no, y'all had a bunch of ships in our oceans with weapons. How many other things are you hiding in our oceans?
Ah, Gordon.
And I was like, yes, G. Gordon, tear him limb from limb.
Ripped him to shreds.
Yes,
Well,
good. This is what we need. This is what we want.
this is hard-hitting
This is
journalism.
what he deserves. Yes, this is the journalism we need. And it really lets me know that G. Gordon, he everybody can get it.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Man
one
by
of
himself.
the things that we, are told from the beginning about G. Gordon is he's just an evil guy. He's just against the League specifically.
He's just against the end.
Yeah, he's just against.
He's just against.
And the fact that he was, riding for the Reach, again, just led us to believe that he was a bad guy. But the fact that he came after the Reach this way for the lie that they told let us know that he is relatively on the side of truth rather than good or evil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that G. Gordon is a neutral journalist. At least that's what this says
Still
to
with
us.
an asterisk.
Yeah, still an asterisk, of course, but he didn't have a problem coming after the Reach. He isn't obsequious to the Reach by any means. He's
Mm-mm.
just like, no, you lied to us, so we're gonna talk about it.
The conversation about this now.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna have to talk about that. But anyway, uh, that happens, and right before that happens, the scientist says, "Hey, those four kids that we kidnapped, they're on War World and they're causing a ruckus." And he says, "Send Black Beetle to handle it
Yep.
with extreme prejudice." And then Black Beetle shows up, and he says, because whenever he arrives, the teens were like, "Oh shit, he's a problem," and he was like, "Don't let that stop you.
Let's have
Yeah,
fun.
don't let that stop you from attacking
Great.
me."
Yeah. He's like, I'm ready for a good time.
And so, big man tries to do something, put down immediately.
Immediately.
And they were like, did he just take our big gun down in 3 seconds?
Nope.
Not good, bro.
Nope.
Not good. Luckily, Arsenal is in the background helping, and he says there's no way we can fight him up front.
No.
Absolutely not. We have to keep him off his balance. We gotta, show him a little razzle dazzle. and confuse him. And that is how we're going to do it.
Hmm.
So they're fighting, and the teens are doing pretty well, doing a pretty good job of keeping him distracted. And then we see that Arsenal is doing something, and I think it was Eduardo who was like, "You know who we're here to free, right?" And Arsenal was like, "I know exactly who we were here to free, but I have an idea." And he releases Mongol.
Yep.
And I will say one thing about Mongol. Mongol only said one word this episode. I'm pretty sure it was not Keith David who said it.
I don't think it was either.
I'm fairly confident it was not. And he was not listed in the credits,
Mm,
like at all. Like Mongol was not listed in the credits.
you
So
would have
pretty sure that was
was.
not Keith David.
Yeah.
But regardless, Mongol is released and Arsenal's like, I'm gonna let them fight and we can do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because for Black Beetle opened the episode by saying fuck Mongol.
Yep.
And Mongol is here because fuck the Reach.
So what better thing to do than to distract themselves from
So
each other?
we have these two big brawlers brawling.
Yep.
Uh in the wrestling world, that's called big meaty men slapping meat. And that's hilarious because meat. And so they're fighting, and while this is happening, Slade sneaks in,
Out of just zoop.
literally just
I was like, hello?
yeah, dropped in real quick, grabbed the key, dipped out
Right.
because everybody wants this crystal key.
Yes.
So yeah, Slade just, a little quick look pop in, gets it, pops back out. Nobody knew it. And then everybody is removed from their stasis,
Hmm.
and Nightwing, McGann, and Sphere show up to pick everybody up. So everybody's about to go home, and Nightwing is like, "Hey, you teens did a pretty good job here, and I think that whenever we get back home, there might be a spot for all of you. The fact that you were able to save my team and do this work, yeah." And they were like, "Oh, you don't want us to be lab rats anymore?" And Virgil was like, "Shut up. We might have something good here."
That'd be a good thing for us.
Yeah. And then Arsenal, get to run in his mouth. And Karen was like, "No, you almost killed us
Yep.
with your reckless behavior."
Yep.
And he was basically like, "I'm not getting locked up again." And then Nightwing says, "Yeah, based on the way you've been, you're off
Oh,
the team
working out.
because you have shown more than once that you are not a team player."
Hmm.
How did you feel about Nightwing's decision?
I, it was, okay. I don't, obviously, if this isn't, I'm clearly a Nightwing truther, and I'm like, yeah, whatever he says goes. However, I don't think he was wrong with anything that he said, but it felt a little just like, all right, you're gone, rather than let's have a discussion a little bit. Like, I hated what Arsenal did to get us in this situation.
hmm
I don't
But
not
you gotta,
understand why he did it.
because you gotta remember, they had another mission in the
Yeah.
Reach factory
Yeah.
where Robin collected what they needed, and they would have gotten out quietly if not for Arsenal
Yes.
making explosions for literally no reason other
Updates.
than to piss Lex off,
Which
which is
I support.
reckless and unnecessary.
And unnecessary, yeah, unnecessary. No, but I, yeah, and again, here's the thing with a TV show, there's conversations that theoretically happen that I don't see. And so, I'm sure Nightwing being Nightwing had conversations, but I was like, let's not do this in front of everybody, though. I didn't like that.
I mean, yeah, like that. I agree. I think that we would have had that discussion when we got home.
Hmm.
Like I don't think I would have said, "Hey, we're not
Especially,
home yet, but you get to ride in the car
yeah,
knowing that you got to pack your shit up."
yeah, especially too in front of all of the, in front of the ones that we're trying to recruit. that
Hmm.
just fought alongside him, which
I agree.
obviously leads into the next moments. But I was just like,
Yeah, like the timing wasn't good. But I think if I was Nightwing, I would have simply said, "We'll talk when we get back."
and that's more up his brand, I feel like, too, than putting on a not a spectacle. But I was just like, this is not the time, my
Yeah.
guy.
But yeah, like for him to say, "And let's not do this behind enemy lines," like, yeah, let's not.
Correct.
So yeah, I would agree the timing was bad, but I think the decision was like it was a good decision. And it would have ended the same way. Like
Yeah.
uh Arsenal would have made a scene and the teens would have been like, "Hey, we're gonna roll with him." And yeah, like it would have ended the same way. However, yeah, that my issue with it was the timing. Like
Yeah.
in real life, we're not gonna have this discussion right now.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna wait till we get back to the house, and then I'm gonna let you know what the deal is.
Yep.
So, yeah, he basically says, you're off the team, and the teens are like, oh, well, he's the only reason we were able to get this done. So we will make our own way home. Thanks. She pulls out the father box, and Nightwing's like, oh shit, is
What
that
the
a
heck? How do you? Yeah.
yeah. And then they go home, and Lex is just waiting for him in Zoom. They're like, hey, how'd it go?
And he never got off the call. He's just
Yeah,
sitting there,
it's there whole time.
spinning in his chair.
Well, I'm sure that he knew that Superboy had been free.
Oh, he's got a little notification bug, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's been turned back on.
And so yeah, he was just waiting for him and he was like, "Oh, you brought back a souvenir.
Fun.
We love a souvenir."
We do.
And Arsenal is like, "Oh shit, Lex is your guy? He's the reason I have a Winter Soldier arm. He stole 8 years of my life."
We leave. But
And he was like, "But I gave you what I promised you, didn't I?"
yeah,
And that's the most Lex thing Lex could have said.
because he's not wrong.
You know, the percent of the bargain.
What are you gonna fight him on that?
Yeah. And yeah, like uh Arsenal put together what happened because Arsenal went to go get the crystal key, which was gone.
Mhm.
And so Arsenal was like, "Oh, this was all the distractions so that somebody could get in there and take it." And yeah, I got something out of this too. Everybody wins, is basically what Lex said.
Yep. Ugh.
And they were like, "Well, we trust this. We've been in the field with this man, so we trust him. We rolling with him." And so she destroys the laptop, which was
Yep.
unnecessary. Well, I guess if Lex can just pop up whenever he wants, that's probably a good idea. So,
But also the drama.
yeah, destroyed the laptop and the father box, and then they just, move off into the sunset. So, how do we feel about the episode?
I
It's okay if it just was an episode.
Well, and we will get into this more. The problem is I immediately watched the episode after it, which was
Lot more content.
a great time for me.
Yep. And we're gonna talk about why.
Um, I think it was fine. There's a lot of good, like it was a lot of good, like let's have a discussion. Some of the discussions happening when they needed to, some of them happening when they didn't need to, but lots of good talks amongst people when communication hasn't really been strong suit this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Okay.
I it's because I think I would have maybe different feelings if I watched it standalone, but the episode immediately after it, I was like, this is it.
Good. And that's fine. And we watch these episodes in twos.
Yeah.
So, because, we're basically just turning a 20-minute episode into a 40-minute episode.
Yeah, I'm just making them regular series long episodes.
Yay, because we like an hour long with
Yeah.
commercials.
Fit
So,
into
a
it.
42-minute.
Makes me feel like
So, episode 18, Intervention. We open on Warworld where Mongol and Black Beetle are still scrapping. Green Beetle arrives and they are able to get Mongol back into stasis. They realize the crystal key is gone and now they have to prioritize making sure no one can use it to reactivate Warworld. The squad sees the Blue Beetle update, and Impulse wants to prioritize saving him. Over in Metropolis, Toyman is robbing a bank, and Blue Beetle shows up to stop him. He smiles for the cameras, and Jaime is in the back seat of his own body watching all of this happen. Batgirl and Impulse pull up on Blue Beetle, but he's too much for them. The ambassador orders him to kill them, but Rocket and Zatanna show up right on time to put him in a bubble. Miss Martian breaks up with Lagan, and Blue Beetle is taken to Bialio, where a brief fight ensues. That gets handled, and Zatanna starts a ritual. Green Beetle shows up, and more squad come in for the defense. Zatanna summons Isis and factory resets Blue and Green Beetle's scarabs. Jaime and Baars are free from Reach control. The squad explains everything, and Queen Bee explains that this was all a part of the plan all along.
Huh.
So, that's the episode. And I know we're going to talk about it, but I just want to go ahead and put it on the table because we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
I love subtitles.
Ah, they were beautiful today.
They were so good. And this is a Zatanna heavy episode. Zatanna was she won us the day.
Oh,
And
she
if I hadn't had subtitles, oh, y'all would have
I
had to
would
hear
have
me
been
about it.
having the worst time with how heavy of a Zatanna episode. Like I would have been writing letters.
Yeah. Like
Ugh.
again, y'all would have had the good news is y'all don't have to hear me about it
Mm,
because this episode was very well and properly subtitled.
yes.
But just know, had it not been, y'all would have had to hear me about it.
We would have been in it. That's the whole rest of this episode would have just been complaining.
Yes,
Would have been
like
nice.
for the next 20 minutes,
Would have been nice.
you would have just heard a rant. But we don't have to do that. So, and I said that because I know that that's a part of why you enjoyed this episode so much.
Yeah, because I love Zatanna already, and then I could understand her the whole time.
Yep, exactly. Knew exactly. We knew what the spells were. I
Yes.
like it. And so, episode starts on Warworld, and Black Beetle and Mongol are still fighting.
This had one of my favorite Green Beetle lines that I've ever had because I was like, oh, that Martian's still in him because he goes, your lust for needless battle eludes me. And I was like, that's the most Martian line I've ever heard in my
The
life.
very green Martian thing to say.
I was like, that was so Martian of him.
Yeah.
I loved that
So,
because he was just like, what are we doing?
yeah. And I think that's hilarious because yeah, it's a situation where like he's absolutely under Reach control.
Yes, but
And
it's
so but that was a thought from his own brain.
100%.
Yeah. And so yeah, Black Beetle and Mongol, they're still going. Green Beetle shows up and he's like, we're gonna end this now. And so they put him back in a stasis pod, and now Black Beetle is pissed again.
Shock.
And he's like, he goes to see the crystal key, and he's like, fuck, the crystal key is gone. Now we have to just sit here and play security guard because the ambassador won't let me attack the League. And I'm like, why would you want to? They are helping your objective right now. But,
Hmm.
he's obviously got on Black Air Forces. But he's like, well, we have to play security guard and guard the outer perimeter to make sure that nobody uses the key to reactivate War World, and I'm pissed about it because I like to do other things.
Hmm.
And so now the squad is back at home, and they're like, or Impulse is basically like, we need to save Blue Beetle, and then pops up on the TV, sees that he's under the Reach's control, and Robin is like, yeah, traitor. And Impulse is like, whoa, 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 not my friend.
Let's relax a little
Yeah,
bit with the name calling.
my friend needs to be saved. Like, my
I
friend is still in there.
Bart is so cute. Like he's such a kid. Like it's a
Yeah,
good. I'm like, oh, like thank you for reminding me these are a bunch of kids because I'm just like he's just buddy and he's just so
yeah, yeah.
he's so sweet.
My friend. Yeah.
My
Like I
friend.
want to save my
Yeah.
friend. My amigo. My hermano.
Hermano. He says it
Yeah,
he's
hermano, yes.
yeah, the way he says it, I'm like, stop.
Yeah, don't do that.
You do, I get what you're trying to do, but stop.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they see Blue Beetle on the TV, and yeah, he's full reach. So now we're in Metropolis, and we see Toy Man
Yeah.
is robbing a bank. Are you familiar with Toy Man at all?
Oh yeah, he was in multiple episodes of Smallville.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know his actual lore, but he worked for like Queen Industries for a bit and then um got by they let him go. They parted ways. They had a restructuring.
Yep. We're very
And
familiar with a restructure.
um so he does a lot of plots against Oliver and then is framed for the death of a big character.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And later on, he comes to try to like clear his name, and it just creates a bigger mess because that's just what he does is create a big mess. But I will say, based off of seeing this is the only other time I've seen him, and I'm like, okay, the guy they got in Smallville, I was like, that's pretty on par for what the comics must look like. So that was a cool thing because that's something I learned during these is sometimes my people don't look anything like what I was presented in Smallville. But I guess since he's human, it makes it a lot easier to find someone that looks like that.
Yeah, he looks like a man that you can find somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a lot more down on his luck looking,
Yeah.
drabby kind of clothing kind of thing, but like the whole rest of his visual, I'm like, yeah, that's Toyman, that's the guy.
Yeah. And there are Toyman is one of those characters. There are a lot of different versions of
Mhm.
Toyman. The Winslow shot version is, I guess, the main
That's who
Toyman.
is the one. That's him.
Yeah.
And
And so that's who this is too.
okay.
Because there's Winslow shot senior and Winslow shot junior a lot of times. And then there's also sometimes Toyman is actually like a puppet type
Oh.
person. I know that there was an episode of Justice League,
Mhm.
or Justice League Unlimited. I feel like it was Justice League that I wanted you to watch because it's when spoiler for a show from like 2002. Um, it it's an episode where Superman gets zapped with something and is presumed dead,
Mhm.
and Toyman is like, "Superman, go bye bye," and that Toyman is like a puppet type Toyman.
Oh, okay.
And what Wonder that was a moment that's one of my Wonder Woman moments where I'm like, if you want to know what Wonder Woman is about, that's that's one of those moments where you're like, oh shit.
And that's why you don't disrespect her.
That's why disrespecting her is a really bad idea.
Scary things will happen. The
Yeah,
other one will let it fly a little bit. Not that you
yeah.
know.
She does not. She does not
No
have a problem.
nonsense.
Yeah. So anyway, and then there's another toy man. His name is Hero. He's Japanese. Anyway, um, yes, this is a pretty standard version of Toyman. And he is robbing a bank, and he makes a funny pun.
He broke the bank.
Yeah, he did.
I laughed harder than he deserved,
Yep,
but actually no, rightfully the right amount. I was like, they knew I'd eat that up.
yep. And so Blue Beetle comes to take care of it, and we hear some of the people that are like, "Yay, it's Blue Beetle!" No, fuck Blue Beetle, and
Mhm.
fuck the reach. Yeah, we hear some of the
The
just
proper like yeah, here for
yeah
it, not for it kind of
yeah
thing.
just the regular people having
Yeah.
opinions, and Toyman is like, "Well, shit."
Darn.
What are you doing here? What the fuck is Superman? Like
Yeah,
what?
I wanted the cool hero.
Yeah, I didn't want the guy who defeated Warworld,
I want the real thing.
and I think that he felt more threatened by Blue Beetle than he would have by Superman. I think that that
Also
was
true for
the
the same
thing.
reason of like you don't mess with Diana. From all he knows with Blue Beetle, he's like, okay, well at least Clark would have been, or at least Superman would have been not coming at me for any kind of
Yeah,
way.
like he would have tried to talk to me first.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but here comes Blue Beetle with long range weapons and shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Toyman was like, "Nope, I'm leaving."
I'm gonna not do this.
Yeah, and then Blue Beetle tears his giant toy suit apart, and then the cameras show up,
Yeah.
and he starts smiling for the cameras, like, "For you, Cat Grant, anything."
Ugh.
And just all that. And you hear Jaime talking is like, "Stop
Yes.
waving, you bitch."
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, like that's not even I don't even wave like that.
Yeah.
Ew. And what I thought was interesting is that the ambassador can hear Jaime's thoughts.
I was curious over that, but
Because I knew, of course, we've seen Jaime and the Scarab have conversations.
yes.
But the fact that the ambassador was able to reply to Jaime
But yeah.
through I was like, oh, that's stupid. Oh,
Interesting.
that's awful.
I don't like it.
So Jaime literally can't like that's a terrible place to be for Jaime.
Yeah, when I realized he was still cognizant too, I was like, I would just not that I want my body just doing whatever, but I'm like, I don't want to, which comes to be an issue later in the episode. I was like, I don't want to vi be the seeing this happen.
Yeah, that's what's rough is the
Yeah.
fact that he is literally in the back
Watching
seat
it.
of his own body being driven by somebody else.
Ugh.
And so, yeah, we know that Jaime is still in there.
Yep.
And then he's on his way home, and Jaime says, like, I hate watching you interact with my family pretending to be me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the alternative is they all die.
It's this or
So,
this.
so.
We're
And
gonna do.
also, we learn that the ambassador can talk directly through the scarab, like as
Yeah.
like that was also something that we learned is like the level of control that they have over the scarabs is complete.
Yeah.
And so Batgirl and Impulse are, around lurking, and they pull up on Blue Beetle, and he's like, you can't win. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm too much." And he staples them both to the wall, and the Reach ambassador, because Jaime's like, all right, they're good, let's go. And the ambassador's like, no, there's nobody here. Kill him.
Oh.
He's like, no, why would you do that? You don't have to. Nope, you got to get that first kill out the way.
Get it out of the. I know. I was just like, ugh. But
And
like,
and again, that's like that whole calling them meat, like that whole like that's where because one of the things that they said while Blue Beetle was fighting its Toyman is they said like saving people is irrelevant.
yeah,
Like it has like I we don't give a fuck about that. It has nothing. It does not help us. It does not improve our cause. But we need the people on our side.
yep.
That's why we're doing this. And so he's about to kill him. Like, he's about to watch them. Like and the ambassador's like, and this will be a good lesson for you. So he pulls out the knives and he's slowly walking toward them. And then Rocket comes in with the bubble. And what we know earlier about her bubbles is the more you hit them, the stronger they
The
get.
stronger they get.
And so he's hitting it, and
Okay.
the scarab is like, I do not know how to escape this bubble. And the scientist is like, well, it's growing stronger with kinetic energy. What can you do about that? He's like, perhaps a sonic pulse. Shut up and do it.
Just go.
And then we hear some backwards talking.
Yeah, we do.
And we see some backwards talking. We
Oh,
see that
yeah.
she reinforces Rocket's bubble with some magic. And then once that thing's reinforced, yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's
Nope.
good.
Stuck up in there.
And yeah, the ambassador's like, is there anything you can do? And the scarab is like, about this particular
Nope.
combination, no. I do not know what I can do about this particular combination.
Ah, it's beautiful.
And I was like, perfect. I see why they were paired together.
I was like, what a dynamic do like
They're too much.
yes. And it's perfect.
Yeah, I love them both.
Mm.
And so, uh, then we're taken to the waters,
Yes.
and we see Lagan just kind of swimming,
Just
minding his business.
yeah, going for a leisurely, getting his laps in.
Laps. Yeah, laps. Yeah. And then Miss Martian is like, "Hey, Lagan, angelfish."
Hi, dear.
I was like, "Gross." And then whenever she said, "Can we talk?" I was like, "Oh, yes."
Well, and it was just like, oh, the whole leading up, and he was like, "Why can't we just do it this way?" I think the trip would be good for us to talk, and I was like,
I
"Oh
was
no!"
like, "Oh, we know what that means."
Everyone in the world knows what that means.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. And I'm really glad that it happened for a lot of reasons, but you know.
Uh,
And she basically hits him with a, "It's not you, it's me."
which isn't wrong.
She's correct. And what's funny about it is Superboy says to her, "He's just your rebound guy." And she was like,
How dare.
"He's
I
not
love
just a rebound guy."
him.
And then, yeah, she was like, "You're nothing more than a rebound guy and you deserve better."
He was like, yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I do."
Which she said a lot of things that I'm not surprised. Like, I would have been more upset if I were him.
Yep,
Like, in the sense of she needed to say those things, but man, those things suck to hear because,
yep,
yes, she is admitting that she is the problem in all this, but none of it makes me feel better as a person. If I,
yeah. And it's like, there's nothing he could do to fix it. There's not, like, he just has to live with it.
and he definitely felt probably extremely used because that's what she was saying. She,
That's what she
like,
said.
albeit
You,
unintentionally.
like, you were a rebound guy. And he says to her, like, I mean, that may be how it started,
Which,
but
because that was with her saying like you made me feel better about myself, and I was like, I felt for him a little bit there because I was like, you want to feel better about yourself in a relationship, but you don't want to be in the relationship specifically just to only feel better about yourself. And so I was like,
yeah.
oh,
And she said, like, it was incredibly selfish and, like, she says all the things that need saying. But,
they suck to hear.
yeah, like, there's no way around that. And if I was ever gonna feel bad for Lagan, it was then.
This was the worst I've ever felt for him. This is the most I've ever felt for him at all.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, as far as feelings toward him,
A lot
this
of us have
is,
all been in situations similar on
yeah,
one end or the other, and so it's just like you feel for one of them either way, and it's hard not to feel for him specifically.
yeah. And to be honest, he actually didn't deserve that.
No, he it was
As much as I don't
fish
like him.
aside was
Yeah,
good to her,
he
so
really was.
and nothing but good to her always.
Yeah. So I still don't like him, but
No,
I felt bad
if
for the
he's not
kid.
a vegan.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can stop complimenting him. Settle it.
Yeah, enough of that.
Yeah.
So they take Blue Beetle to Bialia because he's like, "Where the fuck are we going?" And the Reach is like, "They need to take us to their headquarters so that we could," like, of course they're not gonna, why the fuck would they? Because he says to them, like, the Reach has complete control of me. Like, they can see everything, they know where I, like, all that. And so, yeah, they take him to Bialia. And, there's a brief fight that happens, and we see some of the strong ladies.
Yeah, the tough ladies.
Yeah, Devastation
Station.
and Shimmer and all them.
Well, I love them.
Yeah,
They're,
I really like Devastation.
I love Devastation. She after, yeah, I
Yeah,
love
after her
Devastation.
and Simon had their little,
Her little moment. Oh, I love her. I was like, get your man, girl. Get
yeah.
him.
So yeah, um, the fight is brief, and Zatanna's like, "We don't have time for this,"
No,
and she casts a spell to, like, put him in a hole, and then the hole gets fight's over.
done.
Cool, glad we talked about it. And
Even Bart was like, okay.
yeah. And again, I'm so glad that, because Zatanna really was just on top of everything. Like, because she was
Yeah,
just like, "Disarm these
she's like, whatever.
goons." And Bart was like, "Well, I was gonna do
I
that.
wanted to do
You
that.
can still knock them out. Like, we got shit to do."
Yeah. He was like, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love Zatanna. She's too much.
She's perfect.
And that's made very clear in this episode. She is too much.
Mhm.
And so Zatanna, they get to, the Beetle Shrine,
Hmm.
and Zatanna's like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
Do my thing.
And she begins the ritual.
Yes.
And I knew that whenever she was floating crisscross, I was like, oh yeah, there's
Oh
about to be some fucking sorcery.
yeah.
And this is, like where we are, like I'm getting mummy vibes.
Oh yeah.
And I like it. I am here for it. And so Green Beetle shows up, and that's not good because, and I think that it was the scientist who was like, we need to send Black Beetle in there to handle this right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, you worry too much. Green Beetle gets in there, and then the rest of the squad is there.
That freaking guy.
And it was like, good thing he has a kryptonite. Ah, fire.
Took him out
And
fast. Like, oh no.
and then they're like, well, he's got other stuff he can do.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he starts using his other Martian powers, and yeah, it's a problem. But yeah, like everybody else is there, so it works out. And then Zatanna, like, summons the power of Isis
Yes.
and, the beetle goddess, and
Yes.
just does everything she needs to do. Factory resetting the scarabs.
Yes.
And then, whenever they were like, oh my God, did it work? She was like, I mean, I think so. Let's check. Who controls these scarabs?
Yeah.
And it was Jaime and Baars.
Yes.
It was like, and she was like, yeah, it worked. I am
I
her.
know yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am she.
She is.
And yeah, of course it worked. Zatanna, of course it worked.
This is very yeah.
And so they were both like, "Oh my God, it's me again. It's for real this time." And Batgirl was like, "Yeah, we heard that shit before. You sure about that?"
Yeah, let's really deep dive on this. Hold on.
And I'm like, "Babe, I appreciate that skepticism,
Hmm.
but and Baars was like, "I haven't had control of my own body for so long. It's good to be me again." And his natural form was the same as McGann's natural white form, but
Yeah,
just green.
yeah.
So that's what they look like. And then the squad explains the whole thing. I would like to issue a correction. I feel like in an earlier episode, I said that Ted Cord was the first Blue Beetle. That is
Mhm.
not true. It's not true here, and it's not true like large scale, like in DC.
Okay.
I thought he was the first Blue Beetle, but he was not. Similar to how Barry Allen is not the first Flash, Hal Jordan is not the first Green Lantern. Like
Right.
the one that we know isn't always the first one.
No one. Yeah.
And like whenever, because them early iterations from like forever ago, whoops, I can't know everything. But I was under the impression that Ted Cord was the first Blue Beetle, and I, whenever they said it in this, I was like, oh shit,
Oh
he
no.
wasn't. Because I did know that somewhere in the back of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Ted Cord was not the first Blue Beetle, and that is according to this. Like you already knew that as listeners, but like you may have heard me say, and I may be issuing a correction, and I didn't say it. I feel like I said
I
that.
feel like you said it because that name stuck with me pretty easily. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, because
I
I
feel like I said
extra
that.
don't know. And I was just like, yeah, Ted.
Yeah.
Ted was first.
So my bad. Anyway, so yeah, they tell the full story of Blue Beetle. And they basically said since it was human magic, the Reach didn't know about it,
Hmm.
and there was nothing they could do. And then we see Queen Bee.
Yeah.
We like a Queen Bee,
Love Queen Bee.
and Queen Bee is like, I am sorry that y'all had to feign defeat, but now that that's over, things can move according to plan. And I was like, of course this was according to plan the whole time. Of course, this was an all
Tell me anything,
along
and I'm like,
thing.
sure, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
Duh.
And I think that this only further let me know that the Reach and the Light are not as in cahoots
Hmm.
as we were led to believe they were earlier, or that they were earlier and then decided we're not doing that. So,
Who's
yeah, the cahoots seem to be over as far as the Light is concerned.
hmm.
But, yeah. So, what do we think of this episode?
I had a great time. I love Zatanna.
We love Zatanna
And now I understand why she's just not been around
because she could solve most
prepping
problems. And
to just tear the house down.
yeah, Rocket was like, it's incredible how you learned to talk backwards like that, girl. And Zatanna was like, perhaps it's my natural language.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
Girl, I've been living like this. Yeah.
So yeah, basically, yeah, I woke up like this is
Yeah.
what Zatanna said.
Oh yeah.
But she did say like I had to, work for months to make this ritual happen.
Hmm.
And Dr. Fate couldn't do it because he's a lord, but I am a human woman. So,
I can do
bang
this.
bang, he prepped me for it. And yeah, we had to keep the secret from you. And he was like, Bart, you kept your mouth closed? And he was like, for this, yeah.
Also, I think out of a lot of them, Bart can keep his mouth shut about a lot because
Yeah, he
he
can.
knows more about everything than everybody.
Yeah, like he told Blue Beetle about, the whole taking over the world thing, and it was Blue Beetle who told everybody, not
Yes.
Bart.
No.
So, yeah, what we know is that Bart does not have a problem keeping his mouth closed.
No. He just Bart's like I don't want to say he's putting on an act because I really truly believe he's being genuine a lot of the time, but
Yeah.
he knows when to turn things on and off better
Yes.
than people I think better than those that were working with him expect him to,
Yes. I
which
think
we saw in
that's
the
true.
first episode.
Yeah, like he can put his game face on as needed.
Easy.
So, yeah, because there are some people that don't have a game face.
No, Bart has one. Like we learned that episode one with him.
Yeah, like Beast Boy probably doesn't have a game face
No.
yet.
He's not there yet.
Yeah, but Bart has a game face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, easy. But yeah. Uh all I want to say shout out to the subtitler
Thank goodness. Because
because we needed you.
if we had had, which not that we haven't had it before, of a pretty heavy episode of her and not getting anything, but I
Yeah.
just, especially this episode with how extra pertinent she was to the entire plot of this episode, like I needed to know what she was saying. And
Literally, this episode didn't happen without Zatanna.
no, it doesn't. And she's so cool. She
Love
can
Zatanna.
do it all. I like her so much. Um,
Everyone should.
was stressed when she was doing her little ritual floating thing though. I was like, because I didn't know what was happening necessarily. I was like, oh. So fun fact, ISIS is in Smallville.
Oh!
Yes,
Oh! I didn't even think
yes.
to ask.
ISIS is in Smallville, possesses Lois Lane, and is quite the journey that occurs with. So when
Oh.
that was happening on here, I was like, what's about to happen? Here we go.
So I'm sure that you were thinking, do we have another Dr. Fate situation? Because
Yeah.
because Dr. Fate took over Giovanni.
Yes. Because that was what was all happening in the Smallville episode was like she took over Lois, was trying to also, which again, I don't know how much lore Smallville got correct on certain things, but
Of
she was
course.
trying to get to convert. There's a whole plot into converting Clark into her long lost lover thing and everything, so they could possess these bodies forever, kind of thing. And I was just like, so what's Dana was doing all of this? I was like, girl, I need you to know how to get out of this
You need to calm
situation.
down a little bit. Okay.
And then it didn't end up like it was a big thing in this show, but it was not as big as I was making it initially out to be because based off of my limited ISIS moment of knowledge.
I didn't even think to ask if ISIS was in Smallville, so I'm glad that you had that one in your back pocket.
I recall that one.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's a late season one too, and I still got it in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love it.
But
Excellent.
yeah, but I had again, this is what I meant when I said earlier, poor episode 17, because this episode was everything I needed. Like I had so
Yeah,
much fun with this one.
had a great time.
So good.
Okay, Okay. Anything else on the episodes?
Nope, I had a good, like I said, fun time with 18. I'm stressed to move on to the next two just because things got to wrap up.
Yeah. And yeah. Who knows? It's a kid show, so like everything should wrap up nicely. But also,
Doesn't mean, well, wrap up nicely, but how do we get there?
yeah. Yeah. What's gotta happen to get there? Because if Queen Bee's plan is moving forward, that may not be good.
Nope, because I like to see her around, but she also scares me.
Yeah. She's a problem.
Wait, yes.
All right. Okay. In the next episode, we will be discussing season 2, episodes 19 and 20. So until then, salutations.